Hello everyone, welcome back to another NTW3 video. Today I have a 3v3 sent in by Baron Germany, who's playing Austria with his two allies, Grizzly Fox and Star CZ, which is a very old name. They are playing both Spain's, both of them are Spain Hispania's 9-pointer. So yeah. The opponents will be Danikil playing France 11-pointer, which is, I think, over here. No, that's not. Yeah, he's right here. So his army's over here. Dragonix playing the Imperial Guard, and Lauren coming up from the rear playing as Italy. So this is sort of like 10 minutes into the battle. I sped it up to get to the action. So it starts off with a rush for the center house here, with Spain actually getting to the house before the French Imperial Guard, which is surprising, because usually these guys are faster than Spaniards, but these are L5 light units, and they're pretty fast, even the Grenadier unit in there. So right now things are just setting up for the actual battle. The cavalry's lining up to face each other, make sure nothing gets around the flanks. One of their players, I think this is Grizzly, spawns all the way over here, and as such he had to march all the way across and is trying to get to his allies via this road. Austria is also coming down the road to support the centre position. And already an aggressive manoeuvre against the Imperial Guards, who left his skirmishers unattended here, so nothing was protecting them really, and as such the light cavalry was able to go in and mop up this lone unit. So Spain being really aggressive here and is doing a lot of damage against these young guard units here, who are really not in position at the moment. However, yeah, in time these guys will outshoot the Spanish units, and as such he does have to run away, losing a couple of men in the process. 8 already, 10. These fast Imperial Guard units, the Voltigeurs, they're really good at shooting, they're very fast, but they're not the best at melee from what I remember. So you want to be using the Imperial Guard light infantry units over here to really do most of the tough work in killing the Spaniards. But Spain's pretty much got this position locked down. He hasn't taken the house yet, he's moving up his Grenadiers, so that's a good play. He's just focused down on taking down the Spanish units, which is... he's doing pretty well at it. The Spanish units are all in these thick columns, and as such they aren't firing to their full potential. So he's not killing as many Spaniards as he should be. Here comes a heavy cavalry charge, it looks like. The French are formed up, unfortunately, so this unit is going to get evaporated, I think. Spanish cavalry is not the best, and it's going to start losing morale really fast. So that was a bit of a misplay. Plus now the Imperial Guard does have the Ledoux, which could be considered the most elite cavalry unit in the game. It's 2,000 gold and it is really expensive. So I think Spain's just doing a delaying action right now, trying to slow down the Imperial Guard. He's wasting a lot of cavalry doing it though, so I would not call this necessarily worthwhile. Still, he seems to have stopped them for the time being, allowing his allies to come up from the rear. Austria, with his L2 infantry, is being aided by the road, but still it'll take them some time to get there. And even when he does get there, there's not much room to maneuver. He could set up here on the flank, or march through a forest, which I don't think he'll do. So yeah, he's already setting up over here. Spain right now is setting up a defensive position to halt the French from pushing through this central position. And we'll see what Italy tries to do. They may try and come around this flank. But if he does, then the Spaniards can come around and use this road to stop them. So right here, France 11 being aggressive with his infantry, which is good. There's only a couple of line infantry units stopping him right now, but the rest of the Austrian hordes are now being spotted, so they're going to start supporting this flank. Imperial Guard still just standing there. There's not much room to maneuver around here, and as such, I don't think he wants to risk any melee charges at the moment. Yeah, here we go. Austrians getting into position, a bit too close for my liking against French troops. He's running them up, but he's going to lose a lot of men trying to get there. France going to pull back though, so aggressive play works. More French cavalry in the back there. Heavy cavalry, artillery. The long shootout, the Austrians and the Spaniards should be able to slowly pick away at the French armies and whittle them down into nothingness because they should overwhelm them. However, with this artillery in place, he can absolutely bombard this unit, all these units basically, and just shred them into oblivion. I don't like the formation the Austrian player right now has. One of his units is not firing. It's being quite useless. However, he's spread out his men into these 3 rank lines, which I quite enjoy. They're most effective at destroying enemy units in gunfight, so I'll give him that. But again, over here, this is his 1 unit versus around 2 French units, and he's going to start losing them quite fast. Italy, ooh! What happened here? A suicide charge onto some square rebels. Okay, nothing much happened there. Unless, of course, he took out some artillery. No, that was just a suicide charge. Yeah, that was a suicide charge. Ah well. I think at this point, I think at this point, this player actually drops from the game, and as such, the rest of his army is now controlled by an AI. So, any moves that this Spanish player makes is going to be very questionable, and he'll basically be out of the game. So over here, he's losing a lot of men now, due to the artillery fire that's blasting him. This unit's already suffered 20 men losses. Just tiring out the French though, which is good. Yeah, definitely. So I do believe this Spanish player's gone AFK. So now it's a 3v2, which is not good for the coalition. The AI might kill a couple of Frenchmen here and there, but not a lot. That, however, was not the AI. That was the Spanish player right there that took out the French guns. No computer would know how to do that.
Our men are running, sir.
Ooh, I didn't see that. A sneaky French cavalry charge came straight through the centre right here and took out the Austrian guns. So well played to him. And they'll be able to escape. The formation's kind of breaking up here. This unit lost 50 men now. And it is withdrawing. The great thing about columns and the more thicker formations you have, the easier they are to manage. So with these thinner formations, you're not able to rotate them out as efficiently as you could. But here, Spain seems to be making gains. He's pushed up his infantry and forced the French into square. He's given a fire order. So these units started with 102 men. Are they going to fire? Forcing them into square again, but the infantry are still finally not killing a lot of men. Their formation is kind of dispersed. Yeah, this is the AI charging in. Again, Spaniards still fine. There we go, finally tearing up that square. Spanish player being very aggressive here, but now he's activated Le Dieu, which is going to tear up this grenadier unit. What's the morale going? There we go. This thing is a beast. It could probably take on all these units if they didn't have square formation, but these units do have square formation, and as such they should be able to hold off the Dieu. for as long as possible. Yeah, the French players are making a mistake here. He's having his cavalry stuck on a square unit, and this is not a profitable trade. He's losing a ton of his really elite cavalry on this square. You can hear the horses dying. Meanwhile, over here, just checking over slow-mo. France being really aggressive as they should be, chasing in some Chevaliers to rout this Austrian unit.
Our men are running, sir.
The Austrians going to counter-charge though and take out this unit with the flank charge. I mean rear charge actually, this unit's running away, so that's even better. These three units now are kind of exposed against these French infantry, and as such I think he should fall them back. But yeah, Spain's doing really well over here. He's taking down the Young Guard units one by one. These units cannot square, and he's now charged in his line cavalry. He's running forward some infantry too. It seems as if he's punched a hole in the centre of the French lines over here, and he's managing to get through it. So now, with the infantry support, with the cavalry, he's managing to break these guard units. I don't know whether or not it's spam clicking. Let me check. No, it's not. No, that's legal. But again, Legdu is going to come back in, try and attack this blob right here. But the Spanish player sees it, and he's going to again form square over here, and he's going to start shooting into the side. Checking back over the Austrians. There's a lot of action happening everywhere. Yeah, this flank is being routed. Another cavalry charge being stopped by dragoons. Austrians fighting down to 68 men. That's not good. So yeah, a very daring cavalry charge has punched through the French lines before the Italians have actually managed to get over there and help. And Ledoux is down to 74 men now. These two remaining Young Guard units are now surrounded basically by Spanish cavalry and Spanish infantry and cavalry, so they're going, even though they're Old Guard actually, there's an Old Guard unit in there, it's not going to last long without support. Checking back on this side, France still advancing. Austria having to pull back. And sending in his dragoons to protect his general and artillery. Yeah, this fight wasn't a good one. He had 3 units against 2, and usually numbers will tell in a line fight whether or not who will win. So he's had to fall back to his main guns, the Anton Reisner 5-pounders, which is a really good artillery piece, very cheap. Not the best of range, but it's pretty decent. So yeah, the Old Guard unit here, I think it's, yeah, the Old Guard has routed from a rear charge.
Our men are running, sir. More
Austrians running from the field over there. If you could get any unit into a flanking position, or you outflank or destroy a unit from the rear, usually you'll be able to break that unit no matter how good it is. Because the morale impact of that is just devastating. Italy's got himself into 2 corps now. One is advancing towards the Spanish AI, the other one is trying to go forward and support the remaining Old Guard. So I think most of the action over there is going to stall for a moment. Let's check the action over here. Now it's France's turn to start getting peppered by artillery. Blasting holes in this unit over here. Yep, there we go. Artillery usually gives a very large morale impact upon infantry. As seen over here, this unit's already breaking. Its flanks is exposed right now, and it's lost, I think, 20 men to artillery. And if it's going to stand there, it's going to break. But right now, France 11 seems to have the upper hand here, in terms of numbers and cavalry. And here he goes, he's going to start pushing up on these weakened Austrian lines. His cavalry is getting into position to attack. And here we go, some cavalry going after the artillery. He sees it though and sends in his dragoons, which should be easily enough to take out this light cavalry unit. But here comes the main damage. The Chevaliers are now going around the dragoons, and the French heavy cavalry is running forth against these Austrian unsquarables. He's already given fire orders upon them. KAISER is losing a couple of men, but there's not enough men in these units to really stop them, I feel. And soon they're going to start breaking just because of the charge impact. This unit's going to continue firing, I think, because of the fire order. Yeah, there's a bit of FIM going on here. And a bit of spam clicking too, okay.
Our men are running for.
And the French cavalry seems to be breaking because of the combination of the fire going on here. But they're stabilizing. They should, if they're, wait, where's the general? The general's back here. So this French cavalry unit's going to eventually break because it's now stuck on these firing infantry units. And that's going to give a huge morale impact upon the cavalry. If any cavalry, basically, if they get shot upon in close range, if they get shot in close range, their morale is going to tank. And as you can see here, the cavalry breaks. Also, just to mention, there was a dragoon unit charging in its rear, so that also lowered the morale. So very poorly timed charge there by France. He should have been sending up his infantry way before. Spain is now having time to really react to this. Bayonet charge. This unit is still focusing fire over there, but a flank charge here by the hussars upon the French infantry. A really nice, well-played time there, and the French are going to retreat. But they're going to actually be chased by these Austrian Hungarians.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must
Oh!
break.
And a sneaky Austrian cavalry charge from the rear. I think breaking the 11's general over here, which is going to be a huge blow to us for morale. And it seems like the front is actually stabilizing. And now, ouch! Yeah, close range volleys into the French infantry is going to start breaking them. Italy's still not actually doing enough to put pressure on these enemies. Again, this formation, this unit isn't firing properly. With these spread out formations, you should be able to wrap around the enemy like this. But with this, only a couple of the units on the side are firing. Austria still has a lot of cavalry reserves though. Where the hell did all this come from? This unit's a bit out of position. It's now getting shot from the flank and it's trying to chase down this French unit. It's going to start to drop in morale, but the cavalry now going in against the unsquarables. These units have formed up, but without the general, they are getting chewed up by the charge. And that's going to be a mass rout. Already morale dropping everywhere for 11 points for France. The general was the only thing keeping things together, it seems. And the lack of squarables everywhere, basically, is leading to routs all across the line. The France 11 player really went for a quantities build with mass numbers of infantry, but if you want to do that, you've got to keep your general alive. You have to do that, otherwise this is going to happen. 110 men routing. And this is actually a pretty good infantry unit from what I remember, the 3rd, 51st. So yeah, this is just a massacre, and it's very much needed by the coalition, considering still one of their allies is a AI. But Italy isn't really pushing them. Italy must be sort of new to the game, and it's being stalled by the Spanish infantry units. And yeah, again, lack of squarables. This unit can square, but it's going to leave its other units to be caught down and slaughtered. And that is the French right broken. All that's left is the Grenadiers right now, desperately trying to break through these German infantry units. If the cavalry comes in on the flank of these grenadiers, then they should easily break them, I feel. Very tired. Is he going to do it? What's he doing? Ah, he's holding up. You should just charge this from the rear. A rear charge would finish him off. Yeah, here he goes. No? Just get rid of him. Come on. Attack. Kill. Kill! Come on!
Our men are running.
Lost the infantry unit. Let's get in the fire order now. It's going to start shooting. It's just reforming. And here we go. One last futile charge. And he's going to get blasted. Come on. There we go. Yep, they're forming, and blast. And they're dead. They're going to start. They're going to wrap. So basically, that's this French army done for. There's a couple of units left here and there. This combat gen is going to stand here for a bit, shooting down these German infantry. But apart from that, it's down to the remaining guard units and Italy to take on the AI. So it seems Italy didn't really have the guts to try and go for a charge through these forests. And is now stuck trying to shoot them down. Is that artillery? Oh yeah, Italian artillery is being brought up down the road and is firing down this flank over here. I can't tell whether or not this is the AI. It looks like the AI. But yeah, these Spanish units are getting... Oh my god, they're just flying. And they're going to rout. They are going to run away. Except this one. The Immortals. Damn, this unit must be really good. L4 squareable, 130 men. That must be a really good Spanish unit to survive. Some cavalry maneuvers on the flank. Austrian heavy cavalry tying down some light cavalry, which is surprising. These guys are much faster than these. What's stopping the French from just attacking through here? Cavalry. If France and Italy were to be aggressive against this cavalry unit, send in the Dew, then the cavalry from the flanks, this unit would break easily. There's nothing really to support it. So I think the thing that killed the Guard and France at 11 was the lack of aggressiveness by Italy, really, and the over-aggressiveness of 11-pointer. He spread himself too thin against an Austria. He tried to attack through here, but Austria had support from the remaining 9-pointer Spain units, who helped him out. So now let's fast forward, let's see how this goes. Yeah, the AI is just going to run straight into French gunfire and Italian gunfire, so they're going to get picked off. Even though the woods is stopping some of the bullets, they are being massacred. They are being massacred really badly. Oh look, even some AI cavalry's walking in front of the Italian lines. Yeah, so that's that. Looking on the flanks though, the victorious Spanish and Austrian units can now go around their enemies and start attacking them from the flank. The last Spanish unit is... no, the last French unit's all the way back there. Very tired, L3, it's not going to do much. Oh, aggressive play here. The Spaniards are going after this artillery piece, which is protected by a light cavalry unit. However, numbers is beginning to tell here. Austria coming in from the rear to take out the artillery.
Are running, sir.
And they do it. The artillery is gone, so that means this entire flank is free to be advanced on. This is looking close. The entire AI is now in routing. That's going to start giving debuffs to everyone else. Italy charging in into militia units. I think... No, actually this is... Conscripti de la Garde. This is either a militia unit or an elite infantry unit. I think it's a militia unit though. One of the two.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh. Austria sending in its light cavalry here against the Italian light cavalry, but it's being supported by some French lancers. Austrian light cavalry actually managing to pull it off though. So they must have got a charge off there. But yeah, Italy's rear defense now has been broken, and he's also being shot from the flanks here by this militia unit. Yeah, this must be a militia unit here too. Austria is setting up a defensive line. And what's this? He's charged in his Chevaliers Hohenhollen into some infantry units. I don't know who's going to win this one actually. In a prolonged fight, usually infantry win because of their bayonets. Yeah, it looks like. It looks like the infantry are going to win this, even though the general's coming up. The cavalry's lost too many men, so this thing's going to rout pretty soon, I imagine. Unless he rallies. Which he is doing. Cool. Let's check on the other sides of the fields. Oh, what's this? Lidieu now charging in a third time against infantry. Running away now for the third time.
Our men are running, sir.
Spaniards are doing a desperate charge here against the militia units, and they are being massacred. But the Austrian cavalry actually won here, which is surprising. They lost a lot of men, but it looks like they killed a lot of Italians. And now they're free to attack them from the rear. So really, they're being surrounded now. But there's a couple of French units coming back from the rear. See if they do anything. But yeah, I think the Imperial players still have an advantage in cavalry. And right here, they're going to charge in. I think this uniform square, but yeah, no, it didn't. This cavalry unit's going to get caught up on the square. But it looks like they're going to get through. And a couple of more Spanish units have been routed off the field. So this is beginning to be a really close game right now. However, Spain is being really aggressive right now and tying down his units while his infantry flank, and also his cavalry. Austria's cavalry is going after the Italian general. So if the Italian general dies here, then basically that's it, and there's no hope for the Imperials, because both of them have lost their generals at this point. So he's got to get his general out here. Italians starting to rout now. There's not enough of them. And even though they've been pressing over here against these units, reinforcements are arriving. And the Italian general is about to break. Once he's gone, basically there's going to be no morale left for these units. And he's gone. Nice. So all now Coalition have to do is continue outnumbering their opponents and gun them down. Spain doing some charging here. Very good, very good. And look at that.
Are running.
Already running. Very tired. France 11 has come back though. And he's right now moving into the forest, which is... Don't do this. Don't march into a forest. Same with all these people. Never march into a forest. They slow your troops down a lot. If you want to help your allies, come down a road. You'll be able to do it much more faster. Your guys are very tired. Look how crawl they... how slow they march. I know these are L4s, but still. Yeah, Italians now being surrounded. They don't have enough men. Don't have enough morale. They got some really good elites here though. 179 grenadier unit. And it looks like they're trying to fall back now. They've seen that they're being surrounded. Oh. Lidiu going in again against a squareable infantry unit. Fighting down to 51 men, and here comes the Grenadiers. It's the elite Italian unit coming in. I think that's a unit crossing. It just went through a square. But well, this unit's dead anyway. It can't stand against Lidiu and an Italian Grenadier.
Our men are running, sir.
So that's them dead. So now it's sort of looking like the coalition are surrounded. They're being pressed in from the remaining France 11 units. Their cavalry is over here, not much of it left, except for this Cuirassier unit, which is pride and joy of the Austrian army currently. Yes, Spain sending over more units to try and stop this French attack. It looks like he is also withdrawing.
The entire unit is dead, sir.
But look at this. France 11 has found himself outpositioned here with the L2s actually trying to outflank him. And an L4 unit coming up. Ouch. These units have already all routed at least once, and they're very tired, so they're not going to put up as much of a fight as last time. And yeah, this unit's going to easily get routed. France now trying to reposition himself to face the infantry, but as he does this, he leaves himself vulnerable to this infantry unit. And also the Austrian artillery is still alive. God damn, these guys did pretty well. We're shooting into the rear of these French units. France and Italy now seeing their ally getting turned upon, trying to rush up and stop them, or at least put pressure upon these Spanish units, but they do have to march through the forest to get to them, so it's safe to say that, again, this France 11 player has overextended, and he's going to lose the rest of his units. He is, however, fighting Spanish militia, so who knows? The rear charge coming in, 250 units at one block, and another flank charge incoming, plus with the general supporting him, so cavalry is going to really put a critical on this French infantry. Here we go. They are surrounded now, and they are going to get routed. Once the general gets back in there, that is. Over here, though, France is finally getting aggressive, and he's charging his grenadiers and broken through. He actually has a path to get to his ally, but he's fallen back now. And the rest of the Spanish infantry is now converging on this charge. And one French infantry unit is broken. The next one is breaking. It will break soon. It's broken. And that leaves only 2 France 11 units left. And although these guys are pretty elite, they're about 400 gold apiece with pretty good stats, they are exhausted and they're not going to be as effective. Over here, I don't know what Lidiu is doing, but they've walked into the enemy grenadiers. perfect. They should be able to easily cut them down. No, that is unit crossing. And he's going to go straight for this infantry unit, which I think can form square. And he's going to lose his Ledoux here. It's being shot by the house at point blank range. Look at that. Yeah, he lost his Ledoux here. The unit crossing there, I think. The remaining France 11 units are falling back. This is a very close game so far. But Imperials have just lost their cavalry advantage, I think. And now Austria is coming in to finish them off. Oh, bit of lag. Let's set this on play. June Guard Lancers coming in, doing a desperate charge onto a squareable unit. Being bogged down.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Hey, where's that? Now, how did that happen? Oh, the Grenadiers! The Grenadiers have sneakily come up and wiped out this house. And as such, they're going to start firing out the windows here. What are they doing? What are you people doing? You can be helping your allies. Come on, get out of there. Yeah, it's all about quantity versus quality now. The remaining French infantry units are pretty good, but they're very small and they're outnumbered by the vast amounts of Spaniards who are retreating, actually. The Guardian is leaving the house. Where's that Austrian? Ah, here's the Austrian cavalry. Still alive and in the rear. I think these are the remaining AI units which are now being broken. So it all comes down to this house. France once again finding them surrounded by infantry and cavalry. They have no cavalry now, and it's just down to these individual units. But that artillery in the rear there is, I think, is firing down upon these French infantry units, I think. Or is it those? It might be those. So they're providing a penalty over here. And they're also being outflanked by hidden Spanish infantry. And they're going to get shot in the back. But they have managed to survive. They're going to get out of there, I think. Oh, what's this? Nah, they're not going to survive. These Spanish cavalry sees them. They're not squareables. Here we go, yep. Charge order has been given upon these very tired French infantry, and they are going to be cut down as they try and escape the Spanish. So that's another win for the coalition. And once again, this cavalry unit fighting down to 20 men has gone into the rear of this French infantry unit, which cannot form a square. This 11 points of France really likes his non-squareable infantry. And again, this unit is now caught in the open and it routs. So this is pretty much a coalition victory at this point. The 170-man Grenadier unit has been broken somehow. I missed that, but they are gone. So that is Italy's last unit, and as such, the only remaining French infantry units are these Old Guard units. 2 of them. They're going to start garrisoning the house and preparing their last stand. I don't think this French unit is going to make it though. It's being surrounded. It has to form square to repel the cavalry, which is still very healthy, and the infantry is just going to march up on it. And I think a fire order has been given. And yeah, Spanish militia versus French Imperial Guard. And they rout. What's that? Oh, some militias. Okay. Now we see the last stand of these French infantry units in the house being shelled. I mean, this unit can hold out for a long while. These infantry units are really battered. They're down to 62 men, 66. This is a really good unit. But, here we go. Spaniards are making the decision to charge. Already, one of their units is about to break, it seems. Yep, one of them is broken. Down to 11 men. They have got it into the house. So let's just look at this. They've taken it. The French are routed. And thus all that leaves is the militia. These poor 25-man units don't know what's going to happen to them. Oh, they actually killed one. Cool. Nah, here comes the Cav. And that'll be GG. Very well played to the coalition players who used their AI basically as a meat shield whilst they cleared up the other flanks. So very well played. Very close game too. And there we go. Well, GG. MVP. This Spanish player over here was very aggressive with his tactics. Managed to punch through a lot of French Imperial Guard units. If Italy could have moved faster and supported his allies and been a bit more aggressive, then I think the battle might have been turned another way. But who knows? Apart from that, thank you all for watching. See you all in the next one.